Bushland Coffee Company was founded so the community would have a convenient location to connect with others while enjoying healthy drinks and nutritious snacks. Our mission is to nourish our customers and our community with our culture and our coffee. Our values include joyful service, healthy nutrition, and community fellowship. Come by and get a drink and a snack Monday through Friday, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m., and Saturdays, 7 to 6 p.m. Go Falcons!
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Look, we got a different setup this week because Chris is traveling, so I don't have the fancy microphone set up. This will work, all right? I mean, I was telling Coach this morning, I said, it's kind of like my fantasy football videos that I produce every week. You know, me and whoever, usually it's Melissa that's sitting there, and we'll sit there and we'll just talk a bunch of smack talk to everybody, you know. So we're just up close and personal today for this Coach's Show. But welcome to the Coach's Show. Coach, thanks for being here.
Yeah.
Appreciate it, man. Well, before we jump into this week, because I've had a lot of questions about this week, let's recap last week what happened in that Canadian game. If you weren't at the game, if you didn't get a chance to tune in, Bushland wins 42-21 over Canadian. Talk to me about what you saw, what you really loved, and just break down that game for us.
Yeah, I was just really proud of our team for, we knew it was going to be a tough game, a good game. And I think that's where you see growth from your team is in games like that, when it's tight and you have to respond and you have to face some adversity and you have to do some things that, maybe you haven't been able to do at that point. Obviously only played one game up to that point. We wanted to see offensively, we wanted to see us grow and mature. And, I kept saying last year to kind of take the training wheels off a little bit, and kind of unleash the whole offense, the whole arsenal a little bit, the passing game, kind of come alive. Guys make plays in the passing game, the running game, kind of all come together. And again, when you play a good team and you play a tight game, those opportunities are going to arise. Mm-hmm. And I was just really, happy to see our kids, some different kids in all areas, in offense, defense, special teams, just step up, in a game like that. And, that's what you got to have when you're playing good teams. Right now, later in the year in district or playoffs, you got to have those guys step up and make big plays. So, just really happy about the growth that we have from week 1 to week 2.
Yeah, I as a spectator, okay, of course, me, I like to call the games and stuff like that, but just the football guy, and I love watching just the growth of our students and rooting them on. And like I saw Quade, I felt like week 1, a little nervous. So, first time starting as a varsity quarterback. He came out week 2. Again, now you got this huge game against Canadian, which is always a big rivalry. We talked about this last week. So maybe a little nervous. He throws that one pick, but then after that, it's like, that touchdown to Jenner, hit him right on the numbers. It was that, and then he hit Ty Purcell, on that late touchdown as well. And I just thought I saw his confidence build throughout that game, and when he started stepping into those throws, to me, I was just like, you can see him in this game just come alive and kind of step into his own at that point. What did you see in Quade's performance last week? Are you pretty pleased with your starting quarterback?
Yeah, absolutely. I think he's one of those guys that mature, from week 1 to week 2, and really week 1 we didn't by the way the game played out against Morgan, we didn't really have to ask him to do a whole lot. He had a long touchdown run, but as far as the passing game went, with all the short fields and the turnovers, which was great, we just didn't get to really see our full offense. What we like to do, how we like to play offensively, fast and mixing it up. Run, pass, take some shots here and there. We just didn't get that opportunity really, and last week we did. And like you said, early we were kind of feeling them out. Still felt like a little bit, and we had a chance. And he knows that that he missed Quade or Jenner, a little slant and go one time, and he came inside and said, I missed that. He was so open. He tried to not just overthrow him, and got a little too cute with him. But the good thing is he came back from that. He came back and really got better after that. It's a couple of fourth down throws, really good fourth down throws and catches. Jenner had one on 4th and 3, a little slant. That was a great throw and catch there. I think two of the biggest moments of the game, obviously when they score first and we answer with the Slade Perry with the kickoff return.
Yes.
I mean, he was shot out of shot out of a rocket.
Yeah, he was gone.
Once he hit their sideline, they had angles and he was gone. I mean, he outran him and wasn't even close. That was huge response there. And then, that the whole sequence right before half where we had it and he threw the interception that kind of crazy when it bounced off right to the kid's hands as he's going out of bounds. We still have him stopped on 4th down. They were a little bootleg and we just, miss a couple of tackles, no wrap up, and he breaks them and goes and scores. That was huge there because we felt like we probably could have scored on that pass play that we missed on the interception. And instead, they get the ball and they score on 4th down and we have them wrapped up. And this is right before half.
Yeah.
You
got about a minute left,
right under a minute. And then our thought process at that point was usually, we had all 3 timeouts, I believe. I know we had 2 for sure, maybe had 3. It's always, all right, let's see what happens on the kickoff. If you have a pretty decent field position, let's go see what happens. Run a play or 2 real fast, see where we're at. If something happens and on the return, you get a penalty and you're backed up to your own 10, you don't want to rush through that and give the other team a chance to score too. So we had a decent return. I want to say to 30, 32, somewhere around there. Slade had a good little run, about 8 yards right there. We got up to the line real fast, through the out route. Ty Purcell broke a tackle, got about 12. All of a sudden, all right, let's go. Let's take a chance. And I think it was the next play. Maybe 2 later was when we scored the Jenner. That was huge going into half right there.
And then you get the ball back.
And then we get the ball back too. So that's always that deal where you got those, 2 possessions in a row like the Patriots and, Tom Brady and Belichick used to talk about. They were so good at scoring right before half.
Mm-hmm.
Having that plan and going and scoring right before half and turning around and getting the ball back and scoring again. So they were always scoring twice before you touch the ball again. So that was huge for us. So that drive right there was big. Quade, our whole offense, our whole team, Quade and Jenner made a play, Ty, Slade, the offensive line, you don't do any of it without those guys, And that was, to me, that may have been the kind of the little sequence of the game right there that kind of got us in the halftime with some positive thinking again.
Absolutely.
And maybe put a little doubt into their mind.
It really did. I mean, you got less than a minute left, and you go down and you give up the go-ahead touchdown, and then knowing, oh my goodness, they're going to get the ball right back,
Right.
And then what we did that first series coming out of halftime, just take it and drive it straight down their throats and put another touchdown on the board.
Yeah,
that was an incredible sequence of events for us. And I felt like it set the momentum for the entire second half, really the rest of the game, right? Because you come out, now you're up by 2 scores, and then they just never bounce, because then you go up by 3 scores,
right?
And now you're at 35-14 before we give them our next touchdown. And so, all in all, like I said, we've talked off camera, the defense playing well, offense was clicking all cylinders. Like you said, Border, we had 39 offensive plays. Don't really see what we have, but then you come out and you do that. So now transitioning into this week's game, we're playing a team that we've never played before, Midland Christian. And what can you tell us about them? I've been asked all week long, hey, what do you know about them? I'm like, I've never played them. We've never played them as far as I know. And so what size of school are they, Mark? I'm like, I got a coach's show Friday morning. I'm going to talk to Coach about it. Maybe he can give me some information on this team. So what can you tell us about Midland Christian?
I've had a lot of the same questions as you. And I don't have all the answers to them all, but it's different playing, a team that that you don't know much about, that your kids don't know much about. What I do know is traditionally they have a really good program, and they've had some, certain years they've had some really good teams. I'm not for sure about their actual enrollment, how many they have in their school. I'm going to guess that they'd probably be maybe 4A school, in UIL. TAPS, I'm not for sure, where they fall. What I do know is they're a good football team though, and I know they've played a lot of in the past. They have to find games just like everybody else, and they've played some quality competition past year. Last several years, I think they've played Pleasant Grove maybe the last couple of years, and they have a real good 4A program. So they're not scared to go play, anywhere, anybody. They have a great program. Generally means they're well coached, and they are. Coach Cunningham, talked to him, since last February when we had realignment. He's a real good guy. They're big up front. They have some big, thick offensive linemen. Some good defensive, same thing. Big, thick defensive linemen, good defensive ends. We know that. Athletic in the secondary and linebackers. They're a dang good football team. And we talk to the kids, trying to make sure they understand that. And I think they do. I know that I've heard them talking. Hey, they're a good team. So that's what you want week in and week out, is for your kids to understand that. It doesn't matter who you're playing, really, to be honest with you.
Right.
It doesn't matter. It's just the next opponent. If you treat it like that and you treat that opponent with all the respect in the world, then hopefully you don't have those games that kind of sneak up on you.
Kind of like Notre Dame losing to.
Yeah.
I'm like, and you beat an A&M, which I don't know if that tells us anything about A&M. I don't know. I'm not. Again, sorry, Chris. I just had to throw that dig in. You know what I mean? But like you said, if you go into one game at a time. I know talking to the students preseason when we had our little like media day when we got to interview them, all of them. Our goal, one game at a time, get to 16.
Yeah.
We want to go 16-0, but in order to do that, you got to take care of the game that's ahead of you. And so that's good. And I like I said, I didn't know anything about the school, so I thought, well, hey, I'll ask Coach because you schedule it, and so there you have it, guys. Get ready for a great game, and that game is here tonight.
Yes.
Originally scheduled for Midland, but that game is here in Bushland tonight. So make sure that you're here. 7 o'clock start.
7 o'clock.
All right. So we start at 7 o'clock tonight. If you can't join us, Chris, you better get back. That's all I gotta say, because he's got all the equipment. We'll be doing a broadcast like this, and we don't want that. But Chris is flying back today, so he should be back in time for game time tonight. But 7 o'clock here in Bushland, so make sure you come out for that. All right, so we'll end here because I asked you last week in the Cowboys' big win over Cleveland. You picked it. You did. Listen,
What was the other ones? I don't even remember. I don't know how I did.
I don't know how you did on that one either. I have to go back and look that up, but I think you did pretty good. All right. Definitely Buffalo won, and they won again last night, and they won big last night. But anyway, so but the Cowboys looked pretty good last week. Did you get a chance to catch any of that? I know you watched film all day on Sundays. Did you watch any of it though?
I watched off and on. I watch film from home. We kind of do our game planning, from home on Sundays, and stay in communication with each other. Have a Zoom meeting Sunday evening, but I did watch part of it off and on, the Cowboys game. They look good. Look like an early Cowboys team.
Thank you.
Early season Cowboys team. We'll see how they're playing.
We got a new $60 million quarterback.
December and January and whatever it really means the most.
Exactly. Well, no, and of course we have New Orleans this week.
I didn't know who we were playing.
We're playing at home. We got New Orleans coming to town, so Derek Carr and company coming to town. Again, one of those games that you should win. You'd think when you look at it on paper, but if you overlook the opponent, I don't know how you can do that in the NFL because anybody can win any given Sunday, right? But anyway, so hopefully the Cowboys will win that week. But so tonight, 7 o'clock, Midland Christian coming to town out here in Bushland. So make sure you come out, take a look at the game. Any parting thoughts from you, Coach, today? That just any words of knowledge for us?
Well, I don't know about knowledge, but maybe just some words, just being appreciative for our community.
Yeah.
They don't understand the support we get out there on Friday nights, and really for all of our teams and every sport. Just going out there, to me, there's not a better place to play out there in Bushland, Texas. Because you go out there and it's packed, and the support we get, the kids really appreciate that. and it's a fun atmosphere. It's a fun place to play, and they take pride. They take pride in trying to go out there and play as hard as they can to represent Bushland community and the Bushland schools. So just to thank you, to all of our fans. The student section does unbelievable. Just the kid when they run out of the tunnel to start the game, and all the little kids behind them.
The bleacher creatures.
Yes. It's just a fun atmosphere, and that includes everyone. The band, our band is incredible.
Yeah,
how they get everybody involved, and it just makes for a really fun Friday night. In Texas when we get to come out and play in front of those guys.
I love it. Well, yeah, thank you, fans, for being there, because you do. And one thing I will say about Bushland fans, they travel well as well. Because even when we hit the road,
right,
you've got a big crowd. So thank you guys for always being here to support our students and everything that we're doing here in Bushland. So, all right, well, Chris will be back next week, hopefully, for the coaches show, and he'll have the more in-depth, detailed questions. That's what I was telling Coach.
I'll be ready.
You'll be ready for it, right?
Yeah.
We took it easy on you this week,
Bring it.
okay?
Let's go.
And so, but anyways, well, thanks for tuning in to Bushland Falcon Media, where every game comes to life. Y'all have a great week. Bye.
Bushland Coffee Company was founded so the community would have a convenient location to connect with others while enjoying healthy drinks and nutritious snacks. Our mission is to nourish our customers and our community with our culture and our coffee. Our values include joyful service, healthy nutrition, and community fellowship. Come by and get a drink and a snack Monday through Friday, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. and Saturdays, 7 to 6 p.m. Go Falcons!